Hey guys, I'm here to try and explain to everyone the new third specialization of the first master on Blade Soul for the North America server. Uh, I will go through the rotation, items, and talents that you have to know, what you need to know to play the new first master. About the items, didn't change much. The the ring. Uh, The ring buffs your 2, that is your zap, the zap skill. Your ring buffs your RMB, your right mouse button, that is lighting palm the name. Your bracelet is activated by your F during the overcharge. You only have your F only on the overcharge, I will explain that. Your Mystic Badge is buffing your 2 and is activated by your 4, that is the Magnetize, like the other 4 semesters. Use your 4 and buff your 2. And the Acceleration Soul Badge, that is the current Soul Badge for the patch. You use your C to buff your X, and when you're entering your Stormborn stance, you get 2 seconds more of that stance. The stance lasts for 6 seconds, and you gain 2 more seconds on the soul badge. And while you are in the Stormborn, your F get buffed. So about the skills and the rotations, the skills, you have your RMB and 2 as your basic rotation damage and the top damage. When you make a parse and things like that is the top 2. And you have your LMB, that you create these orbs that buffs you according to your talents. I'll explain that later. And you have to keep casting these Cs, this LMB, these orbs, to get buffed and enter the overcharging stance and the Stormborn instance. Other thing is when you have 3 orbs, you activate your Z, your X, and your V. So you can split the rotation like by 3. So you have one rotation without out of the overcharge, one during the overcharge, and another or almost the same for the Stormborn. While you're trying to cast your orbs, you have to press RMB, LMB, and 2. RMB, LMB, and 2. So once you have 3 orbs, you will have your V and your Z you can use. The V is like the old meteor shower or the ice storm on the other spec. You can use your Z too, but the C and the X, you I will say you have to save for the overcharge, because when you enter the overcharge with 5 orbs, the C and the X get buffed, and you will get more buff on your X if you use the C and the X, because the C triggers your soul bad, as I said, and buffs your X. So I will get 5, I enter the overcharge, I get my F, and I get the C and the X buffed. So I should be RMB 2, RMB LMB 2, RMB LMB 2. I can use my 4. I get 3 orbs, I use my Z, I keep casting the orbs, I get overcharged, I use my C, my V, my F, and in the very end of the overcharge duration, I have to enter the Stormborn stance. I'll show you guys that. Oh, my orbs! It bugged. So when I am on the end, I use my LMB again and I enter the Stormborn stance. That is the instance the character is staying floating. I have to try enter the overcharge and the Stormborn instance constantly because I get my F, that is an important DPS skill for my rotation, and I get other skills that is strong on the Stormborn. Um, so for the overcharge and the Stormborn, basic rotation should be RMB, F, and 2, and use the other skills you have on out of the cooldown. So let me test. I have to try use like 2 Fs during my overcharge. So I use F, wait the cooldown, F, and enter the Stormborn. I have to use my X, my V, my 4, my F, and cast the C on the very end. Why? That's because the C have a cast time, or 1 second cast time, and since my soul badge buffs my F during the Stormborn, uh, it's better that I use the most of the Fs that I can during the Stormborn and use the cast of the C only on the end, because even if I get out of the Stormborn instance, if I start the cast, the cast is still finished and the skill still goes. So I have to remember that since it's a cast skill, if I use another skill or I move, the cast will be cancelled. So keep that in mind and try always use on the end to get the most of you can on your Stormborn stance. I will show you guys the rotation for a little and then explain the talents. So to start, I charge 4 orbs, sorry, and I start with my ult, R, 4, and the rotation. I enter the overcharge, I use my C, my F, enter the Stormborn, use my X again, and then I use the cast and start the rotation again. I will have to charge, get 4, 5, use the C, the X during the overcharge. My Stormborn is on cooldown, so I will have to charge that again. I get my F and Stormborn. The skill resetted, and then I cast the C. I enter the overcharge, I use my C, 2 F and RMD, 2 F and RMD. Now it should be RMD, LMD, and 2. I get my skills out of cooldown, overcharges, 2, RMD and F. Stormborn, and then I cast. So should be about that the basic rotation. About the talent, I am using the Dark Spark, its electricity, Chain Lightning, Power Hitter, and Blood and Thunder. I'll explain a little bit because you can read by yourself and get the answer if you want. But these talents, it's more like to PvP specs, the buffs and what they give, it's more to a PvP spec, and I won't explain that, but you can read and see by yourself. The Dark Spark and the Bright Spark, sorry, they have the only difference is because the Dark Spark, your RMB 2 and some skills are targetable, and in the Bright Spark, your RMB and 2 are area AO effects. So if I have I don't like the Bright Spark because if I am on a dungeon or a raid and I use my 2 like this, I already lost DPS. So I should have constant target and be sure that even if I move, my mouse will be on the right side, because if I do that, I lost DPS. And the Dark Spark, since my basic attacks are targetable, if I have a target and I use the skills, even if I change the position of the camera for a little, I don't lose the target, or I still have the target even if I lose for a second. So I rather have my basic attacks, and it's the most part of my DPS is my RMB and 2. I rather have the target effect. About the others, it's electricity, strober, it's escape or resist skill on your tab. It's more kind of your what you like. I like more its electricity. Strober, they change your tab to this. You change into a lighting person. You have like 4 seconds to use this. Or better, you have your watts and consumes 25 of watts per second of the strober. On the its electricity, they change you to a electricity ball. That's more like the flame ball of the Force Master, and they have 3 seconds of duration, and after that they consume your watts to refresh for 1 second. So you get like 4 seconds more, and you get a tab that lasts for 7 seconds. I rather have that than the other ones. It's a do whatever you like about that. About the shock therapy and the child lighting, I test several times and the child lighting is giving you more DPS. The skill basic damage do more DPS in the description, and when you use it, you still have more DPS on that. The power play and the power hitter, I saw a few people saying about the power play, but the thing is for us, the Volt Salvo that should be cast automatically when you use your right mouse button or 2, they don't go. The Volt Salvo don't go, don't cast automatically. So I will show you here. And your Volt Salvo, that is your F during the overcharge. They have 2 seconds of cooldown on the power play. So as you can see, I use my 2 and my RMB, and my F don't go. They don't cast the Volt Salvo. And because the power hitter, they decrease about half of a second, the cooldown of Volt Salvo I think is more reliable to use like 2 or maybe 3 Volt Salvo during your overcharge before you enter the Stormborn. And since the skill DPS is the same, I rather use this one. This show only that if you use your RMB and awaken RMB, your 2 or awaken 2, you will cast the Volt Salvo automatically, but it's bugged, so you don't even bother on that. The other side is here I get 4% of dodge and movement speed, and here I get accuracy and piercing, so I rather have this bonus. The Blood and Thunder, I rather instead of riding the lighting, because here I only get movement speed, and Blood and Thunder I get resist to all effects. That is very cool because when I enter the Stormborn stance, I have to be very safe or have a lot of resist to use all my skills without worrying what will happen. But so if I use this talent, I can use my Stormborn and just, oh, I don't care if the boss will hit me or not, I will cast all my skills without a problem. because I will resist shock. So that's the basics of the new spec. I hope you guys liked. Just remember that the patch was given to us yesterday, so if I said anything wrong here, if you don't agree or have another perspective about what I said, please give me a note, leave a comment, and let me know so we can talk and grow up together about that. Many likes for who watch it, many thanks, and see you next time.